Hello, folks. We're live. I have Progressive Discussions feature artist James P. Madonna.
Welcome, everyone, and happy All Hallows Eve 2019 to the entire world, because tomorrow, when we do Fandango Friday, it will be All Souls Day.
No, it'll be All Saints Day. Saturday is All Souls Day.
Right. Saturday's All Souls Day, or to Mexican people, the Day of the Dead. Yes. Right. The 3 days of memorial to all of our loved ones, people that were close to us that have passed away. And in my case, in the past 2 years, 5 people that were close to me passed away, a whopping 5 people. So this is an important time of year in memorial, in memorandum, whatever word you want to use.
Yeah.
You continue with the theme.
Now, yeah, so today is All Hallows Eve. Tonight is the Vigil Mass at 5 p.m. Central. I'm going to go to the Vigil Mass. And then tomorrow they'll have the All Saints Day Masses and memorials at the cemeteries for all the saints.
Right, and I'm going to Mass.
Who are in heaven.
Yeah, they're not having Saturday Mass next door in the church.
They're probably having it in the graveyard. And Saturday is All Souls Day, which is a memorial for all the faithfully departed, whether they're saints or not, all the faithfully departed. Because, you know, some of us were kind of bad in this pilgrimage, and so we have to go spend a little time getting cleaned up in the... Yeah,
I mean, there's a difference between an individual who has dedicated and devoted their life to the Lord and was canonized as a saint, that did a lot of good in their life, or maybe performed a miracle or two. You never know. There are lots of them. I always liked Saint Francis of Assisi because I'm an animal lover. He was a nature lover also. But there are many saints that did great work. Saint Benedict did great work against the forces of evil. And a salute to Saint Benedict. But but some of us have, some of us are not worthy of canonization. I know I'm one of them.
And that's why we have purgatory. And if you watch the movie, we got to get on to the main topic. But if you watch, I like to think about a lot of metaphysical and allegorical concepts. And if you watch the movie Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, or what was the name of the movie though? It was called
Willy Wonka, you mean?
Willy Wonka and the Chocolate. But the novel was Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. But if you watch that movie, it reminds me sort of like the idea of purgatory. Like Charlie finds the golden ticket, salvation. All the other kids find the golden ticket. But did they all use the golden ticket correctly? No. They do little bad things. One girl was very vain and irritating. One boy was mischievous. The other one was this and that. And the only one who was like what we call the saint, who got to go straight to heaven, was who? Charlie, because he turned in the everlasting gobstopper. And so then he got to go straight through the roof into heaven. But the other children got cast out into another area. So that was very interesting. I think a lot of these movies have allegorical.
Yeah, and those little monsters would be like an aged Black Angus ribeye steak to Krampus. He would have loved to confiscate them and take them to his lair, to his cave for torture and things like that. I know he had a long tongue, Krampus, because a lot of the German paintings of him showed him with a long serpentine tongue. But anyway, I digress.
Yeah. And if I get a chance one day, I want to show you one of these metaphysical books that someone gave me.
I have several books on feng shui, the ancient
the
art of feng shui.
He died at age 90. But anyway, you encouraged me to go on here. I was telling you off air that I was not I said, no, we don't need to go on there. Let's just forget it. And you were saying, no, no, this deeper than that topic at hand.
Well, I'm a rabble rouser. I like to raise rabble, whatever the hell rabble is. It's like gravel, right? Yeah, no, we're right. Yeah, you know me. I'm an instant
rabble. No, rabble.
Oh, rabble.
Rabble.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Rabble means like an uproar. So you were saying that, no, it's deeper than that because you were talking to me that you said there's a problem in this country with fanaticism, fanatics, and they want to run the country. And what happens when fanatics run the country? You have things like the Great Cultural Revolution in China, and people will say, oh, well, 10 or 12 million people got beat to death. But why nitpick? You know, that's how these fanatics think.
Well, you have chaos. We don't want chaos. You know, even though it was spelled wrong on the show Get Smart, spelled with a K, but we don't want chaos. And, you know, the thing is that fanatics play the card. You have the feminists that play the gender card, and you have other lobbying groups that lay the big guilt trip on politicians, the big guilt trip. You know, they play their cards, and they make you feel real bad because they keep repeating their nonsense. But
yeah, and so last night we had the founders examination, and that's been a hot topic lately. And so I had people telling me all kind of things like, oh, if you defend the company, people might think you're racist, or maybe you are racist. Well, I never defended the company, actually. All I ever said was maybe you should consider both sides. I think they make good beer. I never had any particular great interest in the company. Now, and then people will say this to me, James. They'll say, oh, you delete comments that you don't agree with. Well, that's not true. Here's the kind of comments I deleted. Somebody coming on there saying, and I'm going to edit what they said, F founders and they're effing racist, blank, blank, blank. Now that in their mind, that's a discussion piece. No, this is not a discussion piece. Or another person telling me, when a woman is raped, you probably say she was asking for it. This is not discussing the topic. You know, you need to take that and shop it elsewhere. All right. But then, you know, of course, we're going to delete those comments. We invite people to state their piece. We are not fanatics. Yeah. We believe in equal opportunity. And what is the great bargain that I've offered on this channel? You'll tell the audience what the great bargain is.
Well, you are. I know you're not in favor of censorship to a certain extent. You know,
right?
We talk
about the language issue, but that's different. That's not idea censorship.
But you believe in an open and free exchange of ideas and opinions and different views. You never censored people to give their view, no matter what it is, as long as they keep their language in check. But you know, I mean, if you own a company, excuse me for my T-shirt because it was a spur. I mean, I'm a spur of the moment.
I mean, no, but wait, the bargain is anyone who disagrees has the option to do what?
To leave, go bye-bye.
But what else? What else have I offered on this channel?
To debate. To
come on live for 30 minutes uninterrupted, showing, but wait, they have to show their real face.
Right. No aliases. You got to show, no matter how ugly you are, even if you have red feathers and you're as ugly as hell, funny looking.
You got to show, and you got to use your real name. You can't be out there like these Antifa guys on the street wearing a mask showing how tough they are. If you were tough, you wouldn't be wearing a mask, brother.
Yeah, because what are you trying to hide when you're in disguise? That's right. I'll be back in 30 seconds. I forgot something. Keep on talking.
You're right, Cole. So, yeah, anyone can come on the channel, but it's so comical. And then another one of these beer reviewers, he was saying, yeah, that's what happens on that channel. No, wrong. That's not what happens on this channel. You don't get banned for disagreeing. You don't get banned at all. But there is some sort of civility that is required. Do I make comments on other people's channels? Certainly. But I don't make ugly comments and I don't make attack comments.
Okay, here is the pablum puking neoliberal from the Founders product that I brought last night on Wildcard Wednesday, the finest craft beer review show in the galaxy, intergalactic champion of all beer shows. And this is the pablum puker that cries, wah, 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 that we all have to walk on eggshells all the time. Even if you own a business and the quality of your production and product is at stake, but you can't complain. You can't suspend anybody. You can't write them up for being a horrible employee. Why? Because they might be female, or they might be gay or lesbian, or they might be a person of color. You can't say anything because the big guilt trip that the lobbying groups of the ultra liberal, neoliberal, fascists like, because the neoconservative, neoliberal, they're both like fascists. They'll lay a big guilt trip on you and make you feel real bad. And this is why when my friend drags me to one of these dance clubs and the DJ's playing that rap crap all night long, that garbage with retarded lyrics that make no sense. It sounds like gibberish. All these white girls are all shaking their ass and rubbing up against everything, grinding everything to this music. And they're like acting like, hey, yo, what's up? What's up? Hey, man, they totally forgot their heritage. They dumped where they came from completely, because I think it's because the big guilt trip must have affected them. It's the same thing with like the man-hating feminists with their gender card that they're always playing. And here we go. The pablum puker, Founders product. All right, soak it in. Soak it in, neoliberals. Founders beer. There is you, neoliberal.
I like some hip hop music, but it's not really my genre, but I like some of it. But I understand what you're saying. Is like there's like a fear psychosis that's been put in people's minds.
I love old house music. I like Motown. I like classic disco. I like some 90s. I like some hip hop. Old house music like Play at Your Own Risk, African Boombata, Planet Rock.
Oh yeah,
I'm not a square. I just don't like the horribly negative lyrics of rap music. It's
right, yeah.
It's toxic, and some of it is gibberish. If you listen to some of the songs, they're like making funny sounds, like they're like Gary Busey when he had the motorcycle accident without wearing a helmet.
But so you wanted to go on because you've had run-ins with people that are so intolerant, and so people should be. Now we have you hear the old stereotypical stuff, racist this and all, and we have Jean-Pierre who's always hanging out with us, and I went to dinner with him in Mobile, Alabama, and he went to dinner with me in New Orleans, and we hung out. We're great friends. And they say, oh, well, that doesn't count because he's an Uncle Tom. That's the term they use.
Oh, see, they laid a guilt trip on people like Jean-Pierre and many others. By calling them that, they're laying a guilt trip on them too, because they choose to live a certain lifestyle. They choose to speak the King's English, or they choose to have Caucasian friends to hang out with where they have something in common with them. They enjoy each other's company. Heaven forbid they should go outside of the ghetto box. Heaven forbid they should not live in that box, that rebellious ghetto box, and go outside the box, or raise the bar above and beyond the ghetto box. They call them an Uncle Tom. So now they lay a guilt trip on these guys and make them feel bad for wanting to elevate their lives.
Yeah. And Jean-Pierre said he just thought everybody should get along and have a good time drinking beer together. And I said, yes, I agree with that. But some people are very intolerant. They don't agree with that. They want to make everything political, you know. And
well, the guy was a bad employee from what the company
look,
said.
I don't know. Look, here's what and actually, the truth. See, some people don't like the truth. The truth is, I never at any point defended Founders Brewing Company. All I ever said was there might be more to the story than the one-sided, like you say, neoliberal narrative. And people just say, "Oh no, oh no," and he said, "I'm victim shaming." I'm not victim shaming. That they like to use these words. No one's victim shaming.
I'm a victim. I'm framed. I was framed. I'm a victim. Wah, wah, wah.
But you have to understand how civil rights laws work. They're designed by lawyers, and they're very helpful for lawyers to drum up business, because you can make a claim. Now, this is what I'm seeing. You get fired from a job. Maybe you were unjustly fired. Maybe the man did face terrible racism at work. I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't work for that company. I don't even go to Michigan often. Okay. And I don't, like I said, I don't even really care about the company. But think about how easy it would be to get fired from a job and then claim these things and file a lawsuit. This is done every day. People do this every day. And maybe sometimes there's merit. Maybe sometimes there isn't. We could talk another time about the merit or the worthwhileness of civil rights laws. That's another topic.
Well, the subject of equality. If you don't have equality, whether it be feminism with women or people of color, if you don't have equality across the board in all ways, you know what I mean? Like, hey, a Caucasian employee could be an employee from hell too, and they should be suspended without pay.
So these baseless accusations are trash, because I am from Louisiana. You see, being from Louisiana kind of invites that kind of stuff, because people say, "Oh, well, automatically you're such and such," you know. But we believe in equal opportunity. We believe in equal protection under the law. All these things. You know, anybody that would claim otherwise has a child's mentality. And
right.
Like I said,
right. And no self-respecting Southerner would ever eat instant grits. You takes pride in your grits.
Well, whoever said I had respect for myself, but I have eaten Quaker instant grits, but the whole cut and dry of it is, you can come on this show and you've got 30 minutes to state your case. You got to get with me and we'll let you come on. This has been a standing offer for 2 years now.
Well, you can sit down with your offer too.
Yeah, you can sit down or on a stool. But we don't. We like to say things out front and not behind the scenes and be all like, "Oh, did you know so and so?" Here's some Stone Ice. Look at that. I only drink 4 beers a day on my day off. Now, if I'm at work, I'll drink 2 when I get home. I have a strict limit. People might not believe that.
Is that a Founders product, sir?
Not exactly. It's a Keystone, and it's made by Molson Coors. I know you have a great love for multinational corporations.
You mean Molson was bought up by a big?
No, wait. The head of Molson is the Molson people, the family.
Right.
But it's not family owned, but it's a corporate, but they run it. The head of the Coors Corporation is Peter Coors, the Coors family.
Yeah.
In 2005, they made a 50-50 merger in the United States and Canada. It's a single company, but it's 50% Molson, 50% Coors. All right. Wow. Now, whether we want to praise or disparage multinational corporations is fine or whatever, it doesn't matter. But you see the point you and I agree on is that you got people are strident, and they'll state opinions as fact. And it's a real problem.
Well,
you're right, Cole. You're right.
You know, I mean, the only reason why I favor these small family-owned distilleries and breweries is because They use old world methods of producing their product. You know, their emphasis is placed on quality rather than quantity. You know what I mean? The family owned places,
Yeah.
they don't water down. They don't cut corners like, let's say, a
Well,
corporate.
let's say they don't usually. I've been to some family-owned places that were atrocities, but
All right, so all right, that's possible.
just think you had some rather questionable experiences at family-owned liquor stores where they would.
Well, there's something out there called Google reviews, and I have a huge following over there because I go to Google reviews based on everywhere I've been. And if a restaurant becomes too popular for too long and they start cutting corners, well, I'll just go on Google reviews and tell the truth. And restaurants do that when they're that busy. They'll give you less beef in your stir-fried noodles or whatever.
Yeah. Look,
You know.
we hear these common things: sexism, racism, and of course that's people's favorite, corporatism. What is the other ones? I don't know. They use these terms all the time. Everybody's a racist. Everybody's a sexist. Everybody is something bad. I had a black roommate in college, and people say, "Oh yeah, sure." Well, I mean, I don't care what they believe. They can believe whatever they want. His name was Kevin Williams, and he was my roommate. We got along great. Did we agree on politics and things? No. We would argue and have very heated arguments about those type of things, but it was friendly. You know what I'm saying? It was within a context.
Yeah.
And he always paid the rent, and we got along great. And I had other roommates, white roommates. One I'm thinking of in particular named Don, who, if just ask him to pay the rent was like some kind of big problem.
Oh, so he was a roommate that stiffed his other roommates for the rent. He had a pattern.
No, he would pay, but it was almost like he had to make you suffer for him to pay.
Oh, you had to ask him. If you didn't ask him, he wouldn't voluntarily hand you over his share.
Yeah, but he knew when the due date was. So he was just being an ass. And now Kevin would pay 2 days before without me asking. He would just say, "Here's the money. No problem. Here's the half." We paid half of the utilities. Well, he was like me. He was careful. He didn't waste electricity. Didn't waste heat. He bought his groceries. I bought my groceries. His girlfriend came over. I didn't interfere with his business. He didn't interfere with my business. He was so upset when I told him I was moving to another place. He said, "After all these years?" I said, "Oh, I mean, Kevin, people move on." So this whole lie, really, of racism is a joke. And I mean, you can't stop what people say about you. Do I have the same ideas about anti-discrimination laws or about American history as other people? No. A lot of my thinking about U.S. history would be considered controversial by some people. Other people would agree with me.
But I mean,
racism is easy, and they like to throw around anti-Semitism too. Like, you might criticize foreign policy. This is how people deal with foreign policy questions. Anti-Semitism, anti-Semitism. And you say, "Wait a minute, I'm not talking about that. What are you talking about?"
Well, when you talk about big banks and Wall Street, and you mention the word Zionism, like the fascist Benjamin Netanyahu, who has said things when he thought he wasn't being recorded very negatively against the United States, almost like ridiculing America and like he's taking advantage. And they're getting a fortune in tax dollars that goes to Israel. That is not a representation of the ancient Israelites or all of the hardworking middle class Jewish people living in the United States and Europe. The little guy. That is not, that kind of Zionism doesn't represent the working stiffs that pay taxes that are Jewish, that are not rich and do not represent the big banks and Wall Street and the oligarchy and all that stuff. But they shove it they play the anti-Semitic card so they can continue to perpetuate their ill-gotten gains and their wrongdoings.
Yeah, and so I might say something like, I think the U.S. should not give Israel any money, but that would include all countries. I don't think the U.S. This is my personal belief. I don't think the United States should be giving foreign aid to any country. Well, see, they like to throw that back, and this is a lot of neoconservatives too, like your Fox News people.
Well, my grandmother used to say, "Charity begins at home."
Yeah. Oh no, you're anti-Semitic. Now, anti-Semitic means you don't like Jews.
Anti-Semitic means collectively
You just don't like. Yeah, you're prejudiced and bigoted against Jewish people. Well, that's not me.
Well, feminists say misogynist. Oh, you're a misogynist. You hate women because you're criticizing the militant feminist movement. So right away, you're a misogynist. You know, like I was accused because I made a statement on the Progressive Discussions Facebook page that I don't think single mothers should allow their young daughters to dress like prostitutes when they go to school. I think schools should have a strict dress code and sometimes have a uniform, which saves the parents money in the long run, and not dress like whores. Oh, you should have seen all these women gang up on me over there. Oh, misogynist, you're misogynist. Oh, because I criticize single parenting, you know, this modern day single parenting.
Oh, right, yeah.
Where they treat, they're not the alpha anymore. They treat their children as equals, and they have to compromise and negotiate with their children instead of being the alpha and saying no. So they laid the big misogynist guilt trip on me. I just want to say one thing about corporatism. When I say corporatism, it is a politician that's on the take that gets paid off, where a CEO sends lobbyists.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And they accept to meet them because Jesse Ventura says you're not, as a politician, you're not obligated to meet with any lobbyists. So they meet with them, they take the bribe. That's what I mean by corporatists.
Right. Most most congressmen, senators, House representatives, and presidents have been corporatists. You see, this whole thing with founders is really fascinating, because when I first started hearing about it, I said to myself, oh boy, here we go. I mean, I knew what was going to happen. So all the liberals line up and say, oh, I'm not going to drink their beer anymore. And I said, well, let them do what they want. And so then when we did the examination, and then they had this deposition, which I read it very carefully, and I said, it's not what they're saying on the Detroit Free Press. And they mischaracterized the deposition. They mischaracterized what the company said. And then people construed that as I was defending the company. I'm not defending the company. I have no reason to defend the company. I said there might be two sides to the story. And by virtue of saying that, listen, by me saying that there might be two sides to the story, that meant I was A, a racist, and B, I'm a victim shamer. I was shaming the victim. You would have to have a child's mentality to believe such a thing. First of all, let's look at the two sides real fast. Case number one, could the man have been a victim of gross and horrendous racial discrimination? It's possible, but you would think in 2019, 2017, 2018, that's kind of unlikely, but perhaps, let's just say maybe.
Well, it has to be investigated, like sexual harassment charges. Investigated.
Accusation is not evidence.
No,
you must understand, people. The burden of proof is on the accuser.
Yeah.
If I claim someone raped me, I have to be able to prove such a claim.
Yeah, it's like I said one time, like a woman could say in a workplace, in the office, they can say, oh, that new man that you hired in the next room, he's been undressing me with his eyes. Well, that's her perception. That's her perception. Perception is not proven fact.
Right. So you're right. So I could say, well, you know, folks, James P. Banana stole money from me. People say he did. Oh, yes. This SO something from New Jersey stole $1,200 from me. And people would say, why did he do that? I don't know. He's a bad person. He's obsessed with Cheese Whiz, all these things.
No, that's not me.
Now people would say, oh, well, why are you saying why are you saying James P. Madonna stole money from you? I would say, he did steal money from me. Now, what's the proof? People might say, what's the proof? And I might say, why are you asking a question like that?
Yeah, do you have a hidden camera somewhere?
Why you said he stole money from me? Well, I just say he did it. No, that would not hold up anywhere. I would have to have evidence to that effect. Okay, so this man says founders did all these terrible things and he was fired for racial reasons, whatever. Okay. Could it be true? Yes. Now, on the other hand, the company's saying, no, no, no. He was a bad employee. He constantly made trouble. His work performance was horrendous. And reluctantly, we fired him. And so then he immediately filed a federal lawsuit saying we were racist and all this. I don't know who's right. I don't know who's wrong. Furthermore, I don't even care who's right or wrong. My point is just to make by me saying there might be two sides to a story does not indicate racism. Okay. You have to have an intelligent mind to understand these concepts. What?
It's like a female social worker marriage counselor who interviews both the man, the husband, and then the wife separately. And she takes the side of the wife simply because they are the same gender. They're both women. There's always two sides to every story, and then the truth is somewhere in the middle.
Right.
All right. Diversity manager. Yeah. Well, I wish all accusations. I wish all accusations were thoroughly investigated of all kinds.
I appreciate what the electric beard is saying, but I read the deposition and I could see that this was a lawyer trying to set the guy up. And then people were saying, and people don't read. And then somebody said, you're accusing all the people who disagree with you of not reading. No, 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 no. I didn't say that. But people were saying the head of the company said he couldn't identify race. No, it wasn't the head of the company. It was a guy that ran one of their pubs. And if you read the deposition, the lawyer was asking very leading questions. And the respondent was trying to be very careful because he knew the man was trying to entrap him so that he could say, aha, you are a racist then. So he was being very evasive like I would be, of course. And I talked to a lawyer today and he said, yes, yes, yes. I don't see where he answered the questions incorrectly. I would have done, he said, that's the way you answer that kind of stuff carefully. And you don't make assumptions. So, well, the lawyer made some other interesting comments. So it's when we did the examination last night, I said, yeah, well, there's going to be the predictable response. Like you said about neoliberals, they always make predictable responses. So I was prepared for it.
Yeah, I mean, you knew it was going to happen. And it's just, they only get their way. These people only get their way. It's like a child throwing a tantrum. They only get their way if you cave in and comply to their ridiculous nonsense. If more people learn how to say no, if more people in authority or in general, even parents, learn how to say no, then we wouldn't have this.
Right. And we have a lot of problems in the university setting with Marxism and radicalism. And you got all these young people that don't know anything and they're being trained to be cadres and to go out onto the streets and be violent, just like in China in 1966. And I'm going to show you this metaphor. In my experience, the craft beer culture leans hard left. Yes, I've noticed that, Cole, very much so. That is, in fact, true.
Well, It reminds me of crap when he said. It reminds me of the adult cartoon South Park episode where they do a satire about people who purchase hybrids and electric cars, and there was the perfect storm that destroyed San Francisco and South Park. Wasn't called smog; it was called smug, SMG, which meant that these ultra liberal individuals that ate a certain type of food, drove a certain type of car, they developed smugness, like they were better than other people.
Yeah, well, the word on the street was that you were one of the token liberals in my hangouts. And
token? No, well, actually,
token liberal, and Jean-Pierre was the Uncle Tom. But
But you know me, that I've said many things that were not ultra liberal. Like, in other words, I don't believe any laws should be passed that gives any particular lobbying group special treatment. Like, if I'm down and out and I apply for let's say job training or entrepreneurial startup cash from the government, I don't want somebody telling me, well, you don't qualify because you're not a single mother of color. You're a single Caucasian male with no children, so you do not qualify for the workforce programs for job training and for entrepreneurial. That happened to me, Jay.
Right. That violates equal protection under the law, which is what we're saying.
Yeah.
Look, I've talked to these people over the years, and they'll say, oh, I'm very open-minded. But I say, no, you're not open-minded, because if you were open-minded, you would entertain all kind of ideas. You wouldn't block people and then...
I'm a token liberal, huh?
Yeah, you're the token liberal, James.
The bridge gate. Meet me at the bridge. I don't need this.
Okay, watch it. All right.
Believe me, you'll go down. Believe me. Trust me. I'm not Woody Allen. I'm the token. I ain't token anything. I've said a lot of controversial things on the air, and at least I go on the air via video. I show my mug. Okay, I'm not a lot of people, pussies, that use aliases, that use fake photos, images,
right,
avatars, and they type like cowards. Okay.
This is a good comment. This is a good comment. Look what he put.
And that's good. I mean, any fanaticism is bad. Any extremism is bad, and censorship is bad too. Hey, libertarians are very anti-censorship, but you got to uphold the Constitution. I mean, you can't say I'm a flag waver and then ignore some parts of the Constitution, or you can't say I'm a Christian and cherry pick from the Bible and just ignore.
I know a lot of people who do that. Now, the Electric Beard says,
yeah,
you're right, Electric Beard. And I heard somebody say 20 years ago, a liberal is a dreamer and a leftist is a schemer. A liberal is a dreamer and a leftist is a schemer. In other words, a liberal wants to do right and a leftist wants to set up concentration camps.
Well, a liberal is an idealist, just like ultra conservatives have their, but once you start getting into perceptions of things instead of proven facts and reality, that's where I can't go with it. I don't care if you're Democrat, libertarian, independent, socialist, or conservative, or capitalist. As long as you can back up what you say with proven facts, not proven facts in disguise of fake news,
right. Exactly, Electric Beard.
Or opposite. You got to prove it, not perception.
Right. Eclectic Beard used to do the beer reviews, but he realized that maybe he need to kind of like cool it on the drinking. And I support that, because it's not for everybody. Believe me, this is not for everybody. And
Now, many fermented beverage organizations and groups have become cults.
Cults, yeah.
You know what I said? And look at my avatar and let your imagination wander. Cults. They have become cults where you have to march in lockstep to what the administrators of the organization say. Otherwise, they threaten to throw you out.
Right. And it's so comical that some of the people saying negative things about me won't let me come on their channel. So they'll say, he's this, he's that. And I would say, well, I'll come on and talk to you. Oh, no. Oh, no. Well, I'm saying, hey, come on in, join the party, say what you want. So I'm the closed-minded guy who wants everybody to come on and talk. And they're the open-minded guys who won't let anybody talk. Okay, that sounds good.
I was threatened to be thrown off a foodie cult group called Hot Dog Nation by a former New York police officer, Irwin Benz, who I appeared personally. I know him personally from the Time Warner show Keeping Country Strong. I was on the show with him and the host of the show, who did nothing but try to sell his country music CDs, actually. But anyway, he ran Hot Dog Nation, where everybody got on a bus and they went to different historic landmark hot dog places all over, interstate. I criticized some people on the food channel, Food Network, people that annoyed me, like Rachel Ray and Paul, at that time, Paula Dean, sucking her fingers and sticking her fingers in her food.
Yeah.
And, her fat fingers with all her rings on her hand. I thought it was disgusting. I don't like double dippers when it comes to food. So anyway,
a very good comment here.
Yeah, if you agree with the group 100%, you're in a cult. Yeah, you should have the freedom to speak your mind and not be afraid of being kicked out.
Yeah, anytime you have a group, we're not talking about trolls and jerks. You got people in groups that just trying to make trouble. You can understand. We're talking about people that just do not agree with the talking points.
Yeah,
and picking them out and blocking them. You are not a group. You're a cult.
Like when I had the big fight over Velveeta and Cheese Whiz, I said it's processed cheese-like food. It's not real cheese, and the administrators flipped out on me because I had an opinion against something he liked, and I said it's toxic, it's processed, there's preservatives, chemicals. He flipped out because I didn't agree with him and say, oh yeah, I think Velveeta and Cheese Whiz is great because I must kowtow to you because you're the administrator of a very dumb ski beer group. Get it? Dumb, D-U-M-B, ski beer group. And with starry eyes too. So anyway, so the person flipped out. I guess what? I said what I had to say and I quit before.
And then you were the crazy person. I remember they were saying, oh, you're crazy. He's crazy. He's crazy. And
at least I quit before they threw me out.
Right. And then I said, wow, he used to be part of the gang. Now he's crazy. And then I was part of the gang. And then, he's that old Southern racist guy. I said, well, these people here, this cult knows no boundaries, but we run into this and, but you're not a cult. You're not a cult if you allow disagreement, you allow differentiation of opinion, you allow people to come on the air and state their opinion for 30 minutes uninterrupted.
Well, the founder of that group, the starry-eyed man, who made some dumb ski statements, told me I was a misogynist and I degrade women because I posted a risque image on one of my past Facebook groups. So I said, well, you don't sound like one of the boys in the locker room there, sir. And he, and then I found out that his daughter.
Yeah, well, let's not go into that. But
in other words, he's he's one of those ultra. He became one of those ultra liberals, whereas his cohort, his commanding four-star general, is a much more. I think he's neoconservative. I could be wrong, but anyway. So
I think you're wrong.
I quit before they threw me out.
Right. Well, anyway, the whole point is you can run across these groups. It could be in a private life, on the internet, whatever, and they're fanatics. I mean, there was a music group I was in, and these people are really power mad. Like they want to be an administrator so they can just kick people out. It's almost like they get some kind of they get off on it. You know, I kicked you out. Oh yeah, that feels good. I kicked you out. It's like, this is really strange. Like, why would you have a power trip? And then you hate to see these people in command of a country, you know?
Yeah, I mean, and another crazy neoliberal thing is that ridiculous all gender restrooms in universities where any pervert can slither in. You know, that's another.
Yeah, right. I mean, they must have been behind all that. We talk about the hard left, and you know, there's a difference between liberals and left-wing fanatic maniacs. You've had countries that were taken over by left-wing fanatic maniacs. France got taken over by one in 1793. His name was Maximilien Robespierre. He was going to recreate the world, and he executed thousands and thousands of people with the guillotine. The Soviet Union was taken over by Lenin and his gang. They executed millions of people. China, millions of people. Look at Cambodia in 1975 with the Khmer Rouge. You know, they're going to declare year zero.
Well, Lenin, the Bolshevik Revolution?
Yeah.
That was because of imperialism from the Romanovs.
Well, that's what they claim, but the Romanovs killed 10 people, so the Bolsheviks said, you kill 10, we'll kill 10 million, you know.
Yeah, I can't stand Elizabeth Warren. If she has Native American blood in her, then I'm next in line to be Pope. See, I call her Gooseneck Warren. Anybody who's melodramatic when they speak in public, it could be Kamala Harris, Elizabeth Warren, Cory Booker. Anybody who gets too dramatic, always beware. It's like a car dealer commercial during the holidays or an infomercial. You know, when they get too dramatic, they're hiding something. There's always a disclaimer.
Right. And I read I posted a good article about how politicians were very similar to psychopaths. You know, they have no remorse. They're glib. They're personable. They have no feelings. They will do anything to get power. They can't be trusted. And they talk about psychopaths like who was the guy back in the 70s that was killing all the women and got caught finally? He was at Florida State. He got caught.
Not John Wayne Gacy, right? The other one, the well-dressed one. The one
that very personable,
clean
cut, spoke well. The women liked him. He was he seemed to be trustworthy, and they would go off with him, and they'd find their body in the woods somewhere. He killed dozens of women. Ted Bundy, yeah.
Ted Bundy, and then women have told me when I'm all dressed up, "Are you a serial killer?" Women of color have told me, "Are you a serial killer?" I said, "What?" Yeah, I take a mallet to Captain Crunch boxes of Cocoa Puffs and I smash it. I'm a serial. Get it?
But a lot of these politicians, like you're describing, are just like a Ted Bundy. They're glib, personable.
Yeah.
They're so obviously fake. And so people are caught unaware and they feed into it. And people like Ted Bundy, these poor women, they weren't realizing who they were dealing with. And the guy comes across as like a nice guy and saying, "Oh, I lost my puppy."
Well, they're sociopaths.
Right.
Yeah.
And you got these people running for office, and they'll say anything and they'll do anything to get support. And they're sort of like that character in the movie The Dead Zone. They want to get in office just so they can start World War III, just to see what it's like.
You know, they're like the chameleon, the African chameleon. They will pander for votes. They will change their colors accordingly. My late Uncle Phil went to a Carnegie School of Business took some courses there. He was an electronic engineer originally, and then he became very, wealthy. And then he lost a lot of money in the big stock market crash. But anyway, at the Carnegie School, they said, if your client, if you got a business meeting with someone important, and you see photos of them playing golf in their office, you suddenly take an enthusiastic interest in golf. If you see them drinking martinis, you start guzzling martinis too. This is like the politicians that you're talking about.
Right, right. You get an angle on them, in other words.
Yeah. Oh, golf. I love golf. It's like Ralph Cramden in The Honeymooners with the Mr. Marshall, Mr. Monahan, whatever, one of the big wigs of the Gotham Bus Company played golf, and all of a sudden Ralph took an interest in golf because he wanted to get a raise, a promotion in the company. And yeah, oh, golf. I've always loved golf. Hey, you think I'm going to chase a little white ball in 95-degree hot and humid weather? I'd rather go fishing. At least I could catch dinner, What's this guy say? Oh, about feminism? Yeah, feminism.
Making a joke about Ted Bundy. Now, kind of throwing it back to the attack in Syria last week, the raid. I'll show you this esoteric book if you want to see it real fast.
Captain Crunch. Yeah, sure.
Let me see if I can find it real quick. You can keep talking, but within.
If you want to switch hats, be my guest. If you know what I mean. Wink, wink, nod, nod.
I mean this cap?
Yeah, that cap. Wink, wink, nod, nod. Soaking that energy, brother. Soaking that. Remember, no instant grits. He takes pride in his grits.
Yeah, well, I don't know how prideful I am. Oh, Belvedere, come here, boy.
I ain't no chicken hawk. I say there, son. I say. Anyway. Oh, by the way, lard is speaking of my cousin Vinny, when the gentleman was frying breakfast with a big hunk of lard going on the griddle. Lard is actually healthy for you. It has great nutritional value. So does eating pork rinds and crackling. It's ideal for the paleo ketogenic Atkins type of diet. And this is all true. And the culprit is refined carbohydrates, which is white sugar and white flour. That's what causes most diseases, fungal infections, fungus, bacteria, cancer cells, and viruses love sugar as their main source of food. So there's a little health tip during this political show. Excuse me. Bed sheets. Oh, bed sheets are
like Jeremy Epstein. I've been reading a lot of articles saying that he may have been a Mossad agent who was making films of politicians to use those films against them and bring them under Israeli control. Sounds plausible. All right. Here's the book.
Oh.
This is from 1880. This is a very old book.
They talk about the Freemasons or any secrets.
All right, I'll show you. It's got this like onion paper on it, onion skin paper.
Is that Ayn Rand?
No.
But she's not she's not eye candy, that's for sure.
No. Here, I'm getting to, it's from, this is a 1938 edition. And.
The secret. Oh, I like it. Oh, this is heavy duty. A synthesis of science, religion, and philosophy. Yes, probably involves how the population is kept in the dark.
It was published in Adyar, Madras, India. It was originally published in 1888, but this is the fourth edition from 1938.
You said Madras. You know, there's a particular Indian curry which comes from the area of Madras. It's called Madras masala or Madras curry.
Oh yeah, I'd like to try more curry.
Yeah, I use garam masala from an Indian store imported. It's one of the more spicier curries, and if your digestive system is sensitive, it can be curry in a hurry. So
Curry.
yeah, use it moderately. But that looks like a really, I love historic books of great depth. It's almost like if Nikola Tesla came out with a book in the turn of the century and you had it. That would be.
Yeah, this book was published by a group called the Theosophical Society. And then the man that gave me the book, he was a member of the Theosophical Society. So he forgot he left his notes in the book from a meeting back in the 1930s.
Oh, wow.
He would type all these notes and
you know what the beauty is of technology is? Instead of writing books and handing out pamphlets and different things like that, we have the beauty of high technology of the internet, of being able to go on a live stream show, have it pre-recorded, and have it put in a video playlist on YouTube. I mean, this is actually, it can actually be better than having a chapel or a building where you hold meetings.
Right. Now, and this, Ronald Sutton's being, Kate, you silly.
She's a hot Indian. Well, I like Native American with the brown skin or tan skin, and especially if they got full lips and shiny black hair.
Now this book here is not for people that don't have patience. Like I just opened up and it says like, here's a selection from the book. Okay. There are 4 here. I'm just going to read one sentence. There are 4 grades of initiation mentioned in esoteric works, which are known respectively in Sanskrit as Srotapana, Sagridagamin, Agamin, and Arhat. The 4 paths to Nirvana in this our 4th round bearing the same appellation. So
I want to say something about ancient Indian Sanskrit. It is also written in Sanskrit, a accurate description on how to build an anti-gravity device using a sphere with liquid mercury in it, and there's a gyroscope inside, and the faster the gyroscope blades turn and whip the liquid mercury around, it creates an anti-gravity device, which Nazi Germany was very interested in this and procured this information. And it could be from extraterrestrial visits, but it's in Indian Sanskrit. Elizabeth Warren is a corporatist, moderate, centrist Democrat who is using progressive disguise. She's using a progressive disguise in order to pander for votes. She is a corporate hoe. Most of the Democrats running are corporate whores, except for my man Bernie Sanders. But otherwise, they're corporate whores. They're all corporatists. The 2-party system is corrupted, and it's rigged by the oligarch since the very beginning.
I want to appreciate Aaron Chan, who's been watching my channel for years and years. He's a Hindu from India. Well, he lives in Canada, British Columbia. But we always have good discussions, although we don't usually agree.
Is he on? Is he on now?
Well, he's commenting. He's not on.
Sir, I have Indian friends that send me videos on my old school physical fitness Facebook group concerning swinging the joris, the gada, Varanasi, India, where they have the annual snake festival by near the Ganges River, the holy Ganges River. Varanasi. Yeah, I'm very much into the Zircones of Persia, and the Akara. The gymnasium of the ancient Indians is called the Akara, and also Kushti is a form of wrestling from Punjabi. Like, you've heard of the Great Gama. He retired undefeated, the Great Gama from
All
Punjab.
right. Well, unfortunately, we got to make a hard finish because I got some things to do, but I appreciate James P. Madonna joining me. We're off at the top of the hour. And so he's given the whack to the neoliberals there.
So don't allow their guilt trips. In closing the show, don't allow their guilt trips to take effect on you. Speak your mind. Have your own mind. Be a free, independent, critical thinker. And like some of the people in the past have mentioned. You've heard it before. Be a free thinker.
Right. H.L. Mencken and people like that. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I got to get off the air, so we're off.
We are off.
Okay, I'm going to turn the news on. I got to get ready